This is the Brown Boy Wonders podcast.
Welcome to the Brown Boy Wonder podcast. That was my Batman voice. Haha. Anyways, in today's episode, we are going to grade list all the well-known Batman actors and voice actors. You know, the character of Batman debuted in 1939 in Detective Comics number 27. Dude, that was 85 years ago. That's pretty crazy. But let me introduce to my two guests here. My first guest here, he usually says, when the light hit the sky, is not just a call, it's a warning.
But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning.
Skyler, how you doing, man?
Where'd Batman go? I heard Batman at the beginning, and then it turned into you. What happened?
I took off my mask.
Oh, wow. I've also never said that, but go ahead.
Okay. My second guest here, he usually says, I'm both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Not because I have to be, now because I choose to be.
You see, I'm both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Not because I have to be. Now, because I choose to be.
Anthony, how you doing, man?
Hello, I am also Batman. Does that work? Yeah, thank you for quoting a great Batman that we'll soon talk about.
Oh yes, oh yes. Well, before we get into these guys, I do have some trivia for you guys. You guys ready for that?
Trivia, it's my favorite
Sure.
part.
All right. So, the first trivia question. Which of these Bat villains was introduced first in the comics? Was it the Riddler? Was it Mr. Freeze? Was it the Penguin? Was it Catwoman?
Gotta be the Penguin, Steve. Penguin, Steve.
I truly believe Anthony knows, but I'll hedge our bets, and I'll say the Riddler.
Ooh. So, Riddler and Penguin.
Uh,
Are you guys confident?
well,
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I just said that I think Anthony's right, so...
Ooh, you guys are both wrong.
Oh, damn.
It was the Catwoman in the Batman number 1, 1940 comic.
I put my faith in a false idol. and now
I'm just kidding. I'm
No, I'm
sorry I sort of confused you there. But do you know their first encounter? How about a bonus question to both of you?
Oh shit.
He's
Who
taken
was
over.
Catwoman disguised as in that first issue, in her first appearance?
Batman's mom.
No. Can't be her mom or his mom.
Okay.
Oh, Alfred.
It was an old woman. She was on a boat.
I was right.
Yep, they got
Damn
it
it.
right. Batman was real confused, and in that issue, Batman says "Papa Spank." So feel free to check that out if you'd like later after the podcast. Of course, please listen to the show.
Papa Spank. I'm Googling that right now.
Damn.
Go ahead, look up the panel.
Damn, all right.
Papa Spank.
Papa.
Oh, it's Batman.
Yep.
And he's quiet or Papa Spank. Is he chloroforming her?
No. He's
wiping makeup off her face.
Yeah. It's a common misconception to assume, especially with the wording, that it's some sort of drugging issue, but it is not. He's wiping the makeup off.
That's scary.
It is.
I don't like Batman.
What?
He's scary.
Well, the second question is, what color was the original Batmobile? Was it black, red, gray, blue?
Blue, Steve.
Sure, blue.
Final answer?
I guess.
It's kind of blue, but not really. It's red.
Whoa, hang on. What? One of your options wasn't kind of blue, but not really. It was blue.
No, it was red. You guys are both wrong there.
Take it
Great.
back. I hate trivia.
I'm sorry. I know I just do it on you guys. I'm so sorry. But it is. The Batmobile was red.
That's wonderful. Here, I got another trivia question for you.
Sure.
What is the name of the hunchbacked mechanic that works on the Batmobile post-crisis?
Damn.
Man, I don't know comic books.
Just say a name that starts with H.
Harry?
Oh,
Harry?
close. Skyler, you want to
Hen-
expand upon that?
Henry?
Oh, you guys were so close. It's Harold. Harold is also
Damn
the
it.
character that invented the iconic black and blue Nightwing outfit with the blue
Mm.
stripes down the arms. So Harold's a very important character in the post-crisis world of DC Comics.
I like
Batman.
that.
Me too.
Harold.
He's looking up
Alright.
Harold.
Oh, look at this guy.
Yep.
He's got, well, this picture, he's got like blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a Von Erich.
Ooh.
Oh, well, I mean, he didn't survive all of his
Whoa, wait.
comic
What is
run,
this?
so.
What is this Earth 27 wiki? Did they yassify Harold? They made him all tall and sexy? What's going on?
Whoa, that sounds cool. They didn't make him a hunchback in Earth 27? I
No,
didn't know that.
it looks like he's handsome. I mean, not that original Harold isn't handsome. I'm not saying that. I'm just they made him more you know what? I'll just show you guys a picture. He made him this.
Oh, he does look little dazzling or
Dazzling.
bedazzled.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Give me Hunchback Harold.
All right. Well, guys, what was y'all's first experience of the character of Batman?
Well, it's probably pretty similar for all of us considering we're all the same age, but I guess to boil it down, my first interactions with Batman were Batman Sub-Zero, the animated film,
Mm.
and Batman and Robin, the 1997 movie. Considering I was 2 and then 3 when those films came out,
Yeah.
I was prime age for being introduced to an icon, if you will. So I had tons of toys, tons of, I still have my blanket, my childhood blanket that features Batman and Robin characters in a Bruce Timm style like art.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure if you look up online, like Batman and Robin merchandise, there's a ton of that. So yeah, late 90s Batman movies and cartoons. That's probably it.
Yeah, similar, but my earliest memory involving Batman is I remember watching Batman 89 while like wearing like a little kid's like cape and cowl,
Mm-hmm.
running around, jumping around, watching uh Joker fall to his death.
As you do.
I don't know if it's like if it was just the case of like, oh, Batman's a superhero, kids like superheroes, just pop in this VHS tape and watch Batman. And I'm like 2 years old, and I'm like, yeah. And then I mean, it's kind of dark. I mean, by today's standards, it's a really cartoony movie, but like I guess back then for a 2-year-old, it's a bit dark.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but 89 is the one I remember. That being said, I definitely, as I grew up a little bit, 89 is not the one I rewatched the most. It was Batman Forever that I watched the most, and then uh, the cartoons, obviously, the animated series and Justice League.
Gotcha. Yeah, for me, so my brother, he watched like constantly the original, the anime series, but I watched the Batman Beyond, like the spinoff.
Oh yeah,
That's my first encounter, and then I watched the 90 movies like later on. But my first encounter was the Batman Beyond show, and yeah, I loved it ever since. Even in
That's
high
pretty
school, like people call me Batman because I
that's
always talk about
yeah.
Batman.
no. You just
Okay.
said that to two people who went to high school with you. You called yourself Batman.
Whoa, okay. If you talk to my freshman class, they'll say, "Yeah, that's Batman."
You
I guarantee
didn't.
you. I
You weren't a
guarantee you.
freshman here. You were a
That's what I'm
freshman on
saying.
the East Coast.
That's no, that's what I'm saying. In
Okay.
the ninth grade, I was in Texas, but in the ninth grade, they call me Batman,
Okay.
and then
Well,
transferred to high school.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one.
isn't this
Alright.
podcast called The Brown Boy Wonder? Like, you're not Batman, you're Robin.
Oh
I
my god.
oh,
Oh, this is your entire brand has been shaken.
it's
Yeah.
okay. I'll recover. I'll recover. I mean, I dress as Batman at work, so they call me Batman there too.
Yeah, that I believe.
Okay.
Alright. But okay, yeah, let's get into our voices first. So you guys have your list here?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you sound like you better
That
poop.
was me. That was my Batman impression.
Oh, okay. All right. So the first guy on the list, he's pretty iconic. His name is Kevin Conroy. Rest in
We're
peace.
we're starting with like the only, I think, guaranteed S tier.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, there's no question. I mean, his tenure alone gets him an S tier, and his performance, like he, he is Batman. Like, I don't think a lot of people are going to argue that.
No, I mean you're absolutely right. It's probably what most people think of when they think of Batman if they're not thinking about the live action films. It's he's often that one that people used to sort of bring up as like brownie points of like, huh, if you're talking about best Batman, then bring this
Yeah.
into the conversation. But like nowadays, it's not even like sort of a nerd like
Yeah.
actually. It's just sort
Yeah.
of common that people will bring it up in regular conversation. So it's it's hard to sort of deny his greatness from the 90s to even an unreleased video game at this point, the upcoming Suicide Squad game. Like
Yeah.
he is Batman. It's hard to deny it.
Even in cases where you're listening to his performance and you feel like he might be phoning it in,
Yeah.
he's still Batman. Like, it's still like, oh, he's phoning it in, but it's still good. Like, if you compare, I think, his voice performance in like Arkham Asylum to Arkham City.
Hmm.
Like Arkham City, he was like, "Oh, this is I get it now." But Arkham Asylum, he's like, it's a bit video gamey, if that makes sense. It's not super
I would say that for a
performance.
lot of the Arkham games, unfortunately, and that's not his fault. I mean, video games have such huge scripts, and there's so much like inane dialogue he has to say,
Mhm.
to where a lot of it does sort of come off as just like him doing his Batman voice. It's just there.
Yeah.
Um, but it's once again, there's been so many great performances. Whether you look back at the original animated series, where his voice is a bit gruffer, that wasn't it. He wasn't able to maintain that, which is like, hey, fair enough. You don't want to destroy your vocal cords. I get it.
Yeah.
But like Mask of the Phantasm, all that stuff originally there is so it manages to be boisterous when it needs to be. It needs to be commanding. It needs to be soft. It needs to be dark and mysterious. Like he really does, and combine that with the Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
to actually play it
Yeah.
as two different characters. Once again, later years they kind of lose those differences. Sadly, not as much like room to play around as like the original cartoon. But
Hmm.
keep saying cartoon. I'm sure somebody will be like, it's an animated series. There's differences. You guys know what we mean. Like the differences there are astounding, especially in a time where that wasn't always the case to have those two different interpretations in the performance.
I mean, he is everyone. This is the Batman we all think about.
Mhm.
But sadly, he's gone now, so we won't hear his voice again.
He's
Um,
passed away.
y-
His legacy, like one of the things you said to me about like how we're kind of ranking them is like their performance and like how they carry the cowl.
yeah.
And his legacy, like forever Batman. There's no question about it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
a fun little story about him is he is the only person that I can think of that at a convention that I went to where he was signing stuff for free.
Hmm.
That
That's
was the
true.
first ever convention I went to. He was signing stuff for free. Now that meant like you can't walk up to him with like 19 things to sign, which I wouldn't have done anyways, but uh I think they made him stop doing it. They were like, because then in later years he came back and he was charging, I don't know, like a smaller prices, but still charging. And then I think the convention people were like, "You're making everyone else look bad. You have to
Yeah.
charge something."
Yeah, I remember that was the 2012 Dallas Comic Con that we
Yeah,
went
Hmm.
to.
that was
Is
my first Comic Con.
Yeah, that was a big year for us. We the line wrapped around the sort of convention hall, which was crazy, and yeah, it was iconic to sort of meet him, and he was personable. There was another person that we had met that year was of course Stan Lee, an
Yeah,
older gentleman, huge crowds.
Yeah.
For reference, at the time, his signature was, I believe, $50, which is kind of crazy to think about.
yeah,
I have no doubt in my mind it was probably much, much higher than that by the time he had passed away, sadly.
yeah,
But like obviously with him, it's gonna be a huge, huge crowd. You hand him the thing to the handler, they hand it to Stanley, he signs it, you go on your way. But with Kevin Conroy, it wasn't like that. He did take the time to talk to you. I remember I handed him my copy of it was like a DVD 2-pack of Sub-Zero and Phantasm, and he
Mhm.
talked to me about it because he wanted to, I was here for him, so it was like having this little moment. So even past the performances, he had this sort of wonderful presence, and I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people have heard his 9/11 story. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but he's got a famous story about him
Yeah.
like in a soup kitchen, like post 9/11 in New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
heard about that.
Yeah, like he, basically raised morale by proving that, Batman's in the kitchen serving food to everybody, and
Yeah.
everyone was, blown away by it. So yeah, he had that heroism also in real life like to a certain degree, which is cool. Obviously, it doesn't affect his performance as Batman, but it helps just as him as a person and our general liking of him. If
Yeah.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
he would like come up from behind his table and like come out and like take a picture, like arm around your shoulder, and again, free that year. So it was like it's insane. He was a great guy. If memory serves, he came out as gay like not too
Oh,
long before he died.
I did not know
Um,
that.
Kinda, yeah. It was something where it was like just of a like a public secret. Where I
Right.
think he was just sort of casually said, and it was like, "Oh, yeah, people know this," but the internet didn't know because he didn't
Right.
it wasn't spouted as like, "Oh, look at this, I'm the gay Batman," like, it wasn't
Yeah.
part of his
Mhm.
identity, but it was something where, like, it came out, and then people dug up, like, convention footage from maybe one of the animated films or even Arkham Knight, I honestly am not sure, but, like, it was said there. We just all did it just didn't become news because it was said so,
Mhm.
like, normally, which is, of course, kind of a good thing when you think about it,
Yeah.
and he did release a story for, I believe, one of the Pride Month issues for DC Comics at some point, sort
Yeah.
of sharing his story of being oh, I just hit the microphone. I was talking so much about
Oh,
Batman, I got excited.
Like a
Um,
top champagne.
I just he released a story about his personal experience and how that related to Batman. I believe it was for one of the Pride issues. I could be wrong about that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was something where it didn't become super well known and part of his thing until closer to his death. But it was just he could just sort of say it, and eventually nobody cared until everyone was like, "Wait a minute, hold on, he's been
Yeah.
saying this the whole
Until
time."
it became something to care about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
oh, I like that.
No, dude's a legend.
yeah,
Um, yeah. Speaking of Comic Con, my brother waiting in line, you got like what you guys said, and he had I think the 4K. No, I don't think it's 4K, but it's like the Blu-ray for the Mask of Phantasm, and he gave it to him to sign, and he said, Kevin said, "This is my favorite one of all time." So that was a pretty cool
Yeah.
moment for
He
him,
he did truly love what he did too.
for sure, for
yeah,
sure. So S,
S
yeah,
tier.
of course.
I would. The only reason I would think not to put him in S tier would be if we created a double S tier specifically so that we didn't lock everyone else out of S tier.
We
ooh, I
can
mean,
listen. Hey, listen. There are other good Batman
Oh
actors, and we
yeah,
will
for
get to
sure.
them. So
For sure.
let's. Yeah, he's
all
not a
right,
god. He was a man. Let's be
sure,
fair.
sure, sure, sure,
He's
sure, sure.
my god. Uh
Okay, that's true.
Uh,
while we're on the topic, if we want to bring him down to man from God, let's not forget that he did play Bruce Wayne in
yes.
that CW crossover thing.
Yeah, the
He
Did
Crisis
you
on
guys
Infinite
like that?
Earths.
he played Murder
No.
Man.
Yeah,
No, that was all bad.
terrible.
I mean, his face was on, on a DC show, so it was kind of cool.
That's a good point. They did put his face on a DC show, so we'll keep him
His
in S.
face was on TV. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right, so
Um,
S,
S tier.
as for Kevin Conroy. The next Batman. So he's also known as Eric Matthews, and not in Saw,
Hey,
not in
wait a
Saw.
minute.
no,
I'm having flashbacks.
no, don't get flashbacks.
If he was in Saw, that'd be a very different kind of movie.
He was also Eric Matthews, but he's also Batman. His name is Will. Is it
It's
Friedel?
Will
Friedel.
Friedle.
Friedel, yes. So he was Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond.
Yeah, one of the first, I guess, major sort of deviations of the Batman character after years of adaptations of, Bruce Wayne becoming Batman. We finally have a new techno futuristic teenager Batman, which
Yeah.
was all birthed from Warner Brothers being like, "Hey, we want a Batman show. Could you make it about like teen Batman. We want like a
Mhm.
teen Batman. And so they were like, sure. And they accidentally invented one of the most iconic modern interpretations of the Batman lore, which
For
is great.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's kind of like the animated show X-Men Evolution, that type of style, I guess, like teen, as you say, teen genre.
Just sort of
But
like a teen cartoon, very Spider-Man or X-Men X, if that's what you mean.
yeah, it's kind of like that. But I do like him as as Batman. Of course, Kevin Conroy was in the show as the original Batman, but as
Yeah.
Terry McGinnis, I did dig them. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I like Will Friedle. I like Terry. This is another Batman that I met at a convention, and once again, really nice. Um,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I don't have as much to say. I don't think for a lot of these I won't have as much to say as I did for Kevin. But
Mhm.
Batman Beyond is cool, man.
I
Yeah,
liked it.
I mean, Will Friedle is someone who I feel like sometimes people look at voice actors and if they can't do a million voices, I notice that a lot with like celebrity voice acting, which I am a proponent. If you can cast voice actors, then do it.
Yeah.
But I know some people get gripes with whoever, in the sort of Hollywood scene. Will Friedle doesn't do a whole lot of different voices. He does like young male hero, either goofy young male hero, like your Ron Stoppables,
Mhm.
Blue Beetle in the Batman Brave and the Bold show,
Yeah.
or he does a more like stoic young hero, like your Terry McGinnis, like Lion-O in the Thundercats reboot from 2011. And yeah, I think he does bring a lot to this. He's still young and hip, and he's a little snarky, but when he goes Batman, he still has that Batman vibe. It doesn't feel weird. You don't feel like you're listening to Spider-Man Batman. It's not
Mhm.
like this is too different, even though it's all different. It still has that Batman edge, that Batman coolness, and yeah, I think that is really great. I mean, they walked a really fine line. Once again, this is a completely different type of Batman character, and so they did a really good job working that into for someone who's so young as well. This was Will Friedle's like one of his first voice acting roles. So
Yeah.
to kind of take as Batman, and be mentored by what people consider today is the best Batman. It's kind of a big deal, and he makes it work.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to say S, but I don't know. Maybe A.
I would. Mm,
It's tough, right?
I would.
Because it's like a bunch of these Batmans. It's like, well, S because they do the Batman voice good.
Yeah.
It's kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I'd say A,
A.
which is not a bad thing by any means.
No.
If S is that next level shit, then A is a really good Batman.
yeah. We can put him in A for a safe bet. That's fine.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Mr. Finney. I wish he said that in the Batman Beyond show,
That'd be really
but
good if
it'd
he
be
did
good.
that. You're right.
The next Batman voice, we know him from Arrested Development and a lot of things. It is Will Arnett in the Lego Batman movie 2017.
That's true. That's true.
He was also
Obviously,
in the Lego movie.
he was
Oh
also in
yeah,
Blades of Glory with
yes.
Skyler. So like that's kind of cool.
Oh my god. That's right. He was.
So that's that. This one's like I guess a little bit hard to sort of grade because obviously it's a much more comedic take on the character. So it's kind of hard to put into some of these other ones where they're able to play I guess a bit more grounded
Yeah.
version or more versatile. So that's a bit. But in that first Lego movie, which is to be fair, the only one that I've
Yeah.
not seen the Lego Batman movie or the Lego movie 2, so I can't judge him
Mhm.
off of those. But for what the Lego movie asks, he fits it perfectly. So there's that.
Yeah. I've seen the Lego Batman movie. It's not my thing because
Really?
they're skewed for younger kids, right? I mean,
But it
not
has
probably
some.
around. They're skewed towards like 10 to 11-year-olds, not like baby children, but like
It did.
sarcastic little kids.
I mean, it did have like some humor for like adults for sure.
It did. I think every animated movie now has to try to do that because if you put Batman in the movie, whether or not he's Lego and you don't cater to those people, you're gonna get a certain a certain fan base that shows up and starts throwing their full diapers at the screen.
Well, and to be fair, there are people that love the Lego Batman movie. Like I've heard from people to say that, like, no irony detected, that is their favorite Batman movie and their favorite take on the character. Now, once again, I can't put any sort of claim on that. It didn't look like my thing, and as Skyler just said, it wasn't really his thing. So there's that. But this is a pretty prominent version that people seem to genuinely love. But like I said, for that first Lego movie, it's funny. The bit works. It's a good Batman. It's just not like my Batman. I don't know. It seems
Hmm.
like the bit would get a little bit old,
It's
especially in like a full movie.
it's I.
I mean, it's more of a comedic Batman, so I don't know if that will lessen the grade for him.
Well, no, just basis on being comedic isn't a bad thing because if you're a funny thing in a funny movie, that's fine.
That works. Yeah.
As we'll talk about with our next person, actually.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah.
but C tier.
How?
Or
Ooh.
if you want
I
B
would
Ooh.
tier,
I would say B tier just because he
Yeah.
does the job that he's asked to do, and that's good. Like he
yeah.
is a perfect comedic Batman, so that works.
Yeah, I'll give it a B.
I guess when I listen to it, I'm not taken past it's Will Arnett being goofy.
Sure. Yeah.
Batman doesn't really come across to me in that.
I guess
Is
that's fair. Okay.
is Will
But
Arnett? Go ahead.
but I like Will Arnett. And the movie was fine, so I mean, I will not fight a B tier.
I mean, for Will Arnett, is he using his voice or is he acting like Batman? Because I feel like he's just using his voice.
He's using his Reese's commercials voice.
Okay. Well, that's true.
Okay, so B for Will Arnett. All right. The next Batman voice, we know him as, he's the one.
Oh,
Um,
I was wrong. I said the next one, and I was like 2 ahead.
oh, not that guy.
I was
But
talking about whatever.
well,
Continue.
we're talking about the one, Neo, aka Keanu Reeves in DC's Leagues of Super Pets 2022.
Yeah, I didn't see this movie.
So, okay, I'll tell you about this. I saw this movie, and like we said for Lego Batman movie, it has some adult humor. DC League of Super Pets had no
No
adult
humor.
humor. No, no adult humor. It was just all for kids, exactly just for kids, except for
Right.
that one scene. I laughed a little bit.
Oh, the
but
sex scene.
no, what? Hey, yo, no. The Keanu Reeves as Batman in this one, I feel like he was just using his voice. There's no like Batman-esque into him. Even though he has a deep voice, it doesn't it doesn't go as Batman. So I'm just gonna give him as like I'm gonna give him a D.
See, that's what you're talking about. Is like you were asking, is like, oh, is it the Will Arnett just doing his voice? It's like he's still performing.
Yeah.
He lowers it a bit. He's doing a bit. With Keanu Reeves, at least from the trailers and everything, it does just sort of seem like they were asked, like, oh, do the Keanu Reeves, lower your voice, say I'm Batman. It's like that's about it from what I can tell.
That's just how he talks. That's just what Keanu sounds like now. The kind of the same thing with when he was in Toy Story, but I assume that writing was better.
Oh, the Louis Kaboom character.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
better.
Um, I love Keanu.
I love him too.
I don't care where we put this. It can be low.
I'll put him
I
as D.
assume just based on who was in charge of this movie. I'm not
Ooh.
saying who directed it. I'm saying who was really in charge.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Who was
assume that they had
leading all the
Keanu
meetings?
record all his stuff in like a day.
In his bathroom.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like
Um.
while he was filming John Wick.
Oh.
In the
Oh.
bathroom?
Yeah, there's, you know,
John Wick
um,
4.
you can go D with this.
Yeah,
I
I'll go
love
D.
Keanu, but I don't care about this.
If you guys saw that SpongeBob movie, he was he was a head in a hay.
Hey, he was a tumbleweed, sir.
Yes, he was a yeah, sorry, tumbleweed. He was like, "What? SpongeBob?" Anyways.
Now, see, that's funny.
It was funny when Abrar did it. They should have got Abrar to do Keanu Reeves.
I can do his voice. Let's do it. The next Batman voice, this is a little intimidating for me. It's Peter Weller as Batman in The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2, 2012 and 13.
Why are you intimidated?
Oh, he scares me.
Skyler
Oh,
should be intimidated, and I
all
know
right.
why.
We're not gonna go there. That's between you and me. Uh, uh, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember his voice in this one.
Really?
I don't think I saw part 1 and 2. I think I saw part 1.
Do you remember Part 1?
Not
Clearly
what
not.
not what his what here. You guys talk and I'll do my research. Go.
Okay. So yeah, Peter Weller. Complete transparency. I'm not a huge fan of the Dark Knight Returns story.
Really?
Um,
Okay.
I'm not a whole big fan of a lot of Frank Miller's Batman stuff. I think Year One, the book, is quite
Mhm.
good. Um, R- Dark Knight Returns just doesn't work for me, and then all its sequels are worse than that. That being said, Peter Weller as sort of this like already gruff Batman that doesn't need to be gruff. There's a lot of Batmans that will sort of, change their voice for a good reason. But this one just feels like he's Batman all the time, which works for a story about an old, angry, tired Batman. I
Yeah.
think that really helps with his performance. It feels like a guy who's been through it, and Peter Weller really works for that. So in terms of choosing him for this version of Batman, I think that works really well. I'm just not a fan of this version of Batman in general. So I guess there's that aspect to it. But
Did you like the
he's a good guy.
story of The Dark Knight Returns?
Not necessarily, no. I've often joked about how it's funny that like, oh, Batman, he grabs Superman, he's like, remember this as the one man who could beat you. And then he
Mhm.
fakes a heart attack to like get out of the fight. So like clearly he didn't win. Superman would have won if hadn't faked a heart attack to create an underground group of Batmen with Carrie Kelly. So like, I don't know. There's things I like about it, but like I said, overall, the only Frank Miller Batman stuff that I like is Year One. I don't like All Star Batman and Robin.
Mhm.
Yeah, all the Dark Knight Returns stuff, I'm not a fan. There's elements that have been adapted in movie since that I've enjoyed. But no, not really my cup of tea.
I mean, for me, he brings like a rated R Batman, especially in Dark Knight Returns. It's just like I don't know. Like I said, he's kind of intimidating because of his voice, but I thought it was okay. Skylar, did you listen?
I did. Um, I specifically listened to the clip of him fighting Superman, and it's not really doing much for me.
Oh,
Since I don't have a lot to offer in way of commentary here, other than it's okay. Let me ask you this question:
oh.
Do you think while they were recording that he wanted some Oreos?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think
Batman
he
wants
got
an
them.
Oreo.
Batman wants an Oreo. Yeah, for sure he
He
said that.
yells that at Superman.
That big clanky suit. Clank, clank, clank.
Good stuff.
No,
um,
Bruce doesn't get an Oreo.
Superman. No, it's just you and me, Bruce. If Bruce wants an Oreo,
And he eats all the yeah, Superman would, he just chomps all those Oreos all at once.
lets the crumbs fall down the city.
That makes sense. He does have a cool line, I guess, in The Dark Knight Returns where he's fighting the mutant leader.
yeah,
And what does he say? He says something like this is an operating table and I'm the surgeon, and he like beats the shit out of him. Like that's a
yeah.
cool
That's cool.
Batman line,
That's
but
cool. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. He's like I said, it works, but it works for people that aren't me, I guess.
Gotcha. Who would win in a fight, Optimus Prime or this Batman?
What?
Why is that a question?
I don't know because he's Optimus Prime, so
Which Optimus Prime?
um, the one in the cartoon,
Which cartoon? Come
the
on, bro.
original.
The G1 cartoon, this
Yeah.
Batman would win. If it's Bayverse like shooting Kelsey Grammer Prime, then that Prime wins.
Okay. All right. So we're feeling like maybe a C here.
Eh,
Yes. I
sure.
would say C because like I said, it works, but I can't rank it very highly because it's not what I want, but I can't deny that it works for what it is.
Gotcha. Peter Weller, a C. All right. So the next one, I did not really watch this show, but he's Batman in this one. I need help here. I'm really bad with names.
Idrich Bader.
Thank you. He was in Batman: The Brave and Bold in 2008 through 2011.
Well, let me ask you this, bro. Did you watch the Harley Quinn show?
I did a little bit, yes.
He's
It was.
Batman in that too.
Yes,
Oh,
that's true.
interesting.
He's funny. I like him.
I mean, this is one of those things. This is an S tier Batman to me. Brave and the Bold is one of the best sort of love letters to Silver Age DC Comics and just DC Comics in general. This Batman across 3 seasons is able to play it so well in terms of being this sort of tough guy to being a bit more gentle. Like you wouldn't think that a team up show where Green Arrow and Aquaman and Plastic Man frequently show up would give a lot of range. But like this Batman gets to do a lot and he's always Batman. And I think that really, really works. Like he's able to do a lot with the character for as limited sounding the concept would be. I love this Batman. He's fantastic.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I haven't watched Batman: The Brave and the Bold. I thought it was like too goofy, so I didn't watch it. I guess I should have watched it.
I
Yeah.
haven't. I've seen like bits here and there. And it's one of those funnier shows that works. Like, I don't know. I don't want to
It's
sound like a
action-packed,
hater.
but it's funny, but it's
Yeah.
also like Batman's never a joke. Like
Mm.
Batman's never being goofy or like the butt of a joke or whatever. Like Batman is still Batman in a world of aliens and sea creatures and magic, like, but he's still Batman. Like you could probably put this
Gotcha.
Batman in other things and it wouldn't feel strange, which is I think what really works about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to sound like a hater, but this show or this performance or no, I'll say this show succeeds in where Teen Titans Go does not.
Oh, I see what you mean.
That one's just full on Cartoon Network, silly, we don't care what's going on, and then they don't care what's going on for so long that they start making fun of the fact that they don't care.
Well,
Whereas
it's a
this,
very different show, I would
yeah,
say. I mean, if you're talking about the comedy action balance, it's way closer to the anime influenced, 2003 Teen Titans, which that show
yeah,
was very goofy at times and
Mhm.
very
oh,
over the
yeah,
top.
sure.
Gotcha. Okay, so if you guys saying S tier, I'll believe you.
This one's important, Anthony. I won't. It can go in S tier.
All
I
right.
got I
As
gotta
my
make sure it goes in
as
S tier.
my Christmas present to you.
Thank you.
Bro, really quick, I got a question.
Yeah.
Did you mean Peter Cullen? That's Optimus Prime.
I am so sorry.
Oh,
Peter Weller.
you thought Peter Weller was also Optimus Prime. That's why you asked that. Oh,
Yes.
okay. No, no,
Is
no.
he not?
I was like
No.
Peter Weller, and I was like, when did he play Optimus Prime? I didn't want to cut anybody off, so I looked at. I'm like scrolling through. I'm like, he didn't play. Abrar, it's my job
To
to
correct.
correct
Yeah.
you on things.
That's why I have you here, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no.
Um
Peter Weller is RoboCop, and he was in that
yes.
Star Trek Into Darkness movie.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
Peter Cullen is Eeyore.
Yes.
That's true.
Sorry, I got mixed with the Peters, like Spider-Man.
Oh,
The next Batman, he was Joel in The Last of Us,
uh-huh.
but he's also Batman in the Telltale games and the Lego DC Batman game I never played, but it's Troy Baker.
Oh, I didn't play the Telltale one. I've
Really?
heard things about it.
Yeah. This is where we needed Daniel for the
Yeah,
Yes.
Daniel, come
another
on, you
guest.
played those.
It's another guest that was supposed to be here. This should have been where he would shine and get to talk about Troy Baker. Because we're not experts in this field.
Hang on.
Well, I
Here's what-
know Troy Baker in The Last of Us as Joel. He's incredible. I loved part 1 and part 2. And I played the Telltale games. You guys didn't play the game?
No, here's what I'll do right now, live on the
Yeah.
podcast. I'm gonna text Daniel. I'm gonna say, was Troy Baker good in
Batman?
Batman Telltale?
I
Okay.
know
And-
him as Lego Batman because I did play Lego Batman 2. I didn't really play the others, but I did play 2. And I do appreciate that when they did those the Toys to Games one, the Lego Dimensions, they had both Will Arnett Batman and Troy Baker Batman is two different Lego Batman.
Oh,
Like 'cause
nice.
one is from the movies and one is from like the animated cartoons and the games and all that. So I like that about it. I thought that was a cool detail. But this is another one where it's like the Lego Batman is such a sillier take on it. You know, he doesn't really get to
Mhm.
flesh out too much. So if he does in the Telltale games, I'm not
No,
overly familiar.
in the Telltale games, he's like kind of it reminds me of Kevin Conroy in a sense, to be honest. He brings that energy.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. That's what he reminds me of. So I was gonna give him like a or a B, if you guys allow me to.
I mean, I would have no say in this because I'm not overly familiar with his more serious interpretations, and I've not like I haven't played enough of the Lego games, I guess, to get a vibe of his Lego Batman. But I mean, he
Okay.
is someone who's played both Batman and the Joker, so that's a cool stat.
Yeah.
You know, that's neat.
I
Daniel's
like it.
responding right now, so that
Okay,
will
live.
determine
Ho.
where if he goes in A or B.
I like it. This is live, folks. Live.
Oh God, it's taking a minute.
Oh, jeez.
You,
Well,
He's still typing.
well, that means he's good, right? If he's typing.
I like Troy Baker. You know, he's good in things. He's a talented actor. So that's
Okay, I have the response. I have the chat logs.
Oh
Ooh,
wow, live.
Yeah, he was pretty good. So you can put him in A.
Okay, that's a
A is
long.
pretty good. All right.
I like it.
Well, I don't know why
All
it
right.
took so long to type that. That's crazy.
He's working.
Yeah,
Butterfingers.
he's a working man.
Yeah.
What a loser.
Ah. All right. So the next Batman voice, he's been in a lot of projects. And he's also a talented actor as well.
And he
As
was also in Star Trek.
yes.
Yeah.
As Bruce Greenwood in The Batman Under the Red Hood, Gotham by Gaslight, Batman Death in the Family, and Young Justice.
Great Batman. Terrific Batman.
Yeah,
Probably
he's
one of the best dramatic Batman since Conroy, in my opinion.
he's really good. I didn't see Gotham by Gaslight, and I've never watched Young Justice.
Really?
Really,
I'm
that's just one of the things I've
surprised.
never. Why?
Young Justice was great.
All right, I believe you. I just haven't
let's,
watched it.
let's not
All
go
right.
that far. Let's
No,
season 1 was great. How about that?
there are like 3 seasons, right?
There are 4 seasons.
4.
And season 1 is great. And that's where I'll leave it.
Okay.
What
Okay.
I'll say is I've seen Under the Red Hood and I've seen Death in the Family, and Bruce Greenwood is a great Batman.
Yeah, 100%. He's got that edge to him. Like I said, it's something where he sounds like Batman normally. So that
Yeah.
helps. I think he could have in an alternate universe out there somewhere. I think he could have been a good live action Batman. You know, you joked about Star Trek, but I've often seen that scene of him talking to Chris Pine about you ever thought you were meant for something greater. You know, that is like perfect Batman Beyond. You know, the Terry McGinnis type of dialogue. Um, so yeah, this Batman is fantastic. He's done a lot of great stuff. He's very quotable. The amount of
Yes.
times my girlfriend and I will be quoting Under the Red Hood like stupid and careless, you know, that stuff. Great.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, he's a great guy, man. Would you give him like an A or an S?
Hmm.
That's the thing.
Definitely no lower than A.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would say A. You know, I would definitely go with A.
Gotcha. All right. Bruce Greenwood, A. The next Batman, he said, "I'm Batman" in the Supernatural show.
Did he
Yeah,
really?
You
he
did.
Wow.
That's the first time I knew about him, and that's a lot of seasons for Supernatural. Too many seasons. Uh, he's also in The Boys as well. I forgot his name in The Boys.
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy. Thank you. It is Jensen Ackles. Ackles.
Jensen
It's an
Ackles.
Eccles.
Ackles. Thank you.
Jason Todd from Under the Red Hood.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's also in that. I like him in this stuff. I don't remember him as I think we discussed. I haven't seen The Long Halloween, so I'm not gonna be helped there. He's really good in Under the Red Hood, and I
Yes.
like him as Soldier Boy. I'm picturing Batman say you're a fucking disappointment. So
That's
I
fair.
mean,
His Batman's pretty subdued. You know, I guess he's sort of the current animated Batman for their movies and whatnot. And Long Halloween, I think he is very serviceable. Jensen Ackles has a very naturally deep voice, so that
Yes.
helps. I can't say that he brings anything new to the table. I think that's part of the reason I hold Diedrich Bader in such high regard, because it does feel like a new interpretation and not just a gruff Batman. There's a Batman right after this that we'll get into that is also just gruff Batman. Um, I think Jensen is fine. I think he is, like I said, serviceable in the roles in the films that he's been in so far.
I agree. I would just give him like a B. He's not as great. He's not as bad. He's like right in the middle.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right, not Jason, Jensen. It's a B. The next guy, I think he was just a Batman in this one game, but usually Kevin Conroy takes over those games. But it is Roger Greg Smith in Arkham Origins and Blackgate on like the PS Vita or something.
I think he had another performance, but I'll have to look it up. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think he had done it one more other time. It may have been the English dub for Batman Ninja. I'm not entirely sure. But
Maybe.
Roger Craig Smith, obviously very well known for the Arkham Origins performance as a sort of younger take on Batman.
Mhm.
Obviously, that was also Troy Baker stepping in for Joker, doing a sort of similar voice match to a Mark Hamill-esque Joker there. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Roger Craig Smith's Batman, just because it does kind of feel like you have to do the Kevin Conroy thing. So he's a
Yeah.
little limited in the fact that he has to fit into that role of being that version of Batman. And he's a very talented voice actor. He's no stranger to the video game world. He's Sonic the Hedgehog, for God's sake. But his Batman, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't light my world on fire by any means.
Yeah, it's I. What?
I like him all right in Arkham Origins. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Why Kevin didn't play him in
Look, I think
Origins?
first it was a different studio. It wasn't Rocksteady.
Oh,
They like handed it out to whoever it was. I don't remember, to do the
Warner Brothers
prequel game.
Montreal.
Yeah, okay. And then they just were like, we're going for a younger thing, so we won't use Kevin.
That was also
Um,
part of it, was that specifically with the Arkham games, both Mark and Kevin are older versions of the characters. I mean, you look at the voice cast, and Arlene Sorkin, who had been the voice of Harley Quinn since the animated series, was in Asylum and then replaced by Tara Strong for reportedly sounding too old for the role. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're like, this is year 2 Batman. They want a younger Batman, that they didn't just automatically go with Conroy because they wanted it to sound specifically different, but not too different, which I think kind of hinders it.
yeah.
so, well, for Greg Smith, I'll just give him like maybe a C or a D.
I say C.
C's fine.
C for Craig, his middle name.
Ooh.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
Oh yeah, he was Chris Redfield. I was looking through his stuff and I'm like, what else? What other video game do I know him from? It was Chris Redfield.
Which Chris Redfield? 5?
In Resident Evil 5. He's literally sounds exactly the same as he does in Batman.
That makes sense.
All right. The next guy, he's not Ray Raimondo. If you guys were thinking about that, it's not him. It's
could've been.
Reno Romano in The Batman 2004 or The Batman versus Dracula 2005.
Reno Romano, yes.
Everybody loves
Batman.
Yes.
I take
go
it you
ahead.
guys don't have a whole lot to say on the Batman cartoon.
No.
I'll
go
have
ahead.
more to say once we get to the live action ones, I promise. But there's
No.
gonna be a couple here where I'm just gonna shake my head. Mhm.
I mean, for me, I saw the show, the Batman show. Was it on WB Kids?
Yeah, it was on Kids WB back in the day.
Yeah.
See, this is why you guys were watching cartoons. I was working as a child.
Yeah,
That's
man.
true.
What
He
the
was on the
hell?
Warner Brothers lot while
I
we
was
were watching
there.
an
I
animated
was
version.
fighting Batman.
Oh shit.
Oh,
this
actually, this does remind me. I was
You were
in
Batman?
a fruit roll-up commercial that was
Ooh.
specifically a tie-in with The Dark Knight. So there was like
Yeah.
Batman stuff all over.
Do you have that commercial with you?
Do I have it?
You
Yeah,
have it on
you
your
know what? You
person?
guys talk about this, and I'll try to find. I highly doubt it, but let me find something.
He's not
Please,
finding that.
please do. Yeah, Anthony, what's your thoughts on Reno Romano? Romano.
Uh, Rino Romano's version of the Batman is in a similar sort of vein that we were just talking about. It's a younger take on Batman. It is a
Yeah.
different sort of take on Batman. It's a lot less sort of like deep voice gruff, and it's a bit more whispery, which I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate because the style of this show, it was the same character designer and art designer as I believe the Jackie Chan Adventures cartoons.
Yes, yes.
So it has a very sort of eccentric style to it. It's very angular, it's very strange. And I think for a Batman like that, you would want to be a bit different. So I like that this Batman is a bit of a different take. It's not the typical cool, smooth, Kevin Conroy style Batman. It
Yeah.
is a bit different. He was, if you may remember around that time, he was doing McDonald's ads as well. So you may recognize his voice in some 2000s era McDonald's. So that's what his
Ooh.
Bruce Wayne sounded like, was his McDonald's ad voice. But his Batman is sort of cool, creepy, and whispery. I guess that's the best way to put it. So I really like it. I wouldn't say it's one of the best Batman, but I have a soft spot for it just because it is a different version of Batman.
It is a different take, especially like the villains. Like I never thought of like those villains visuals or like, Scarecrow when you see Scarecrow or Joker. They were really different takes. But for this Batman, he's okay. I mean, he's not as great. I only saw like a few episodes, not few, but like half of the season on Batman.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's just I was just flipping the channels and I just see that Batman. I'm like, it's alright.
That's fair. I think the first two seasons are probably some of the best, and then it never completely loses the ball, but it does sort of lose its steam after a while. But I appreciate it for just how drastically weird it can be. Which is, when you get to a point, especially with Batman, there's so many versions of Batman. As I get older, the more different takes, but still the same, I can really like. Because if to sort of compare it to a Joker, right? There's a point where all the Jokers tend to become Mark Hamill impressions.
Mm-hmm.
And I get bored of that, Like when John DiMaggio, and I know we're talking about Batman, when John DiMaggio played Joker in Under the Red Hood,
Yeah.
and it was a different take on it. It wasn't a Mark Hamill voice. I really liked that. So same thing with Batman here. I like that it's so different. But I agree. It's not one of like the best Batman. It's not up there with some of the other levels. So like a B, I think is an acceptable sort of place where it's,
B?
you get brownie
Okay.
points, but you're not like top tier.
You
That
do
works.
you do you think the show is trying to copy the original animated show? Like,
No, I would say it's trying to do its own thing with its crazy wacky designs, I would say
yeah.
it's completely its own. It's a very much an early 2000s sort of action cartoon. Like I
Mm,
said, comparing it to Jackie Chan Adventures or, something like, Teen Titans, which had that anime influence.
yeah.
It's a lot more of a faster paced kids action show as opposed to a more, inspired by the old school Superman cartoons from back in the day, which is
Yes.
what the animated series was. So yeah, very different. I would say drastically different for a good reason. They wanted it to be different.
Gotcha. Yeah, like if you remember like the original Spider-Man animated series, that if you I feel like that show is like fast paced on and on and on. Like if you have ADHD, that's the show for you.
The 90s cartoon? Oh geez,
Yeah.
it's breakneck pace. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Like but I watched it last a week ago. I'm like, man, how do kids watch this?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of wild to think about how just like constant the music is, constant the scenes go. Like, there's not a lot of sitting down and talking with characters. Like, it
No.
is just talk, 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 CG shot of New York City transition to whatever the villains are up to. Talk, 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 boom, boom, boom. It's yeah, it's extremely like a sugar rush of a Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah, it's like you're on cocaine or something. I don't know.
Why are we talking about
Um,
Spider-Man?
exactly, it's Batman.
Yeah, what the hell? I could have talked about Spider-Man this whole time.
Hey. But Jackie Chan Adventures, Batman. What do you guys give it? You said C or B?
I said B.
B.
Well,
Yeah, I'll give it B.
when you say Jackie Chan Adventures, I
That's
guess
an A.
I guess yeah. So
All right, but we're still giving it B for Batman.
All right, B for Batman, sure.
Yeah.
I
did
was
that.
listening the whole time.
Did you find that fruit roll up commercial?
You know what? We'll talk about it when we get into the live action stuff.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay,
that
okay.
makes sense. Did you find a fruit roll up just like in your couch or something?
There's no couch in this room.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. All right, so the next Batman voice, he's a talented actor as well. He's been in a few things, you know. Uh, it is Jason O'Mara. He's been
Yeah.
in The Son of Batman, The Batman Bad Blood, Batman vs. Robin, 2015, Justice League War, and Batman Hush. It's been a
Yeah,
lot.
I saw Justice League War when it because that was like the start of the new universe
Yes.
after the Flashpoint thing. So I watched that one, and one thing I remembered about the first time, because Anthony and I watched it together,
Mm-hmm.
the whole time I was like, almost none of these voices are any good. These all suck.
Yes, I agree.
Especially with no disrespect to whoever did the voice. Sorry, guy. Whoever voiced Green Lantern in that one, it was like baffling how weird they made him sound.
Yeah, it's not to sort of dismiss anyone's like acting or imply this is what happened, but
Yeah, no, I couldn't do any better.
every future appearance of Green Lantern in those movies was Nathan Fillion. So like they
Mm.
clearly found someone that they wanted to work with moving forward. Like I'm not saying this guy was fired because of his performance or anything, but they clearly switched
No,
gears.
I'm not saying that either. Abrar is saying that, but I'm not saying that.
Yeah, that's true. He's making a lot of claims. We do not stand by that, but it is a
No,
Bar's
we're
podcast,
only
so he can.
guests on this podcast.
True. Yeah.
Wait, what did I say?
All
Oh,
right,
don't worry about it. This
moving
Batman,
on.
I don't like him. I don't really care for him, to be honest.
No,
Even in the 15
he's
movies he was in.
he's okay at best, and I don't know if that's because when you stack him up to all the other people he's with in some of those movies, he's just the one that sounds the most okay. Um, I don't know. I there's a lot of these I didn't see, but in Justice League War, he's the most fine. I
Sure.
wouldn't put him
Sure.
higher than C.
Yeah,
I've seen this
I
guy
would
in
say
stuff I
that.
like though. He was on Agents of Shield. He's good in that.
Oh, that's a wonderful,
He was in
recommendation.
he was in Resident Evil Extinction.
Oh, wow. So this guy's got a great career. Wow, that's great.
Um,
All right,
yeah, I
moving on.
mean, yeah, I'll just. Do you want to guys give him an F?
No, I don't think
No,
he's like
if
horrible.
you wanna give him a D, I guess you could, but I'm not gonna. He was Wesker in Resident Evil Extinction, by the way.
Oh,
Whoa.
ooh. I mean,
Wesker doesn't do anything in that movie, for the record.
no, you
He's
didn't.
just kind of there as a hologram
Which
or in a
one does he throw
boardroom.
his glasses at the camera? Which
That's
one
the
was
one
that?
after that one where it's a different
Okay.
guy.
Okay. So yeah, never mind then. This guy, no. This guy's a D at best.
All right,
All right.
because he was Wesker and not even the fun Wesker.
Well,
Put
yeah.
him in D.
D for Jason O'Mara.
Sorry, fella.
That's all right. It's the first D as Batman, so it's kind of crazy. He's probably the first one here.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, we gave Keanu Reeves a D.
So never
Damn,
mind.
Keanu.
Okay, the last Batman voice we have here, he played a lot of things, but he also played Commissioner Gordon, not Commissioner, Lieutenant Gordon in the Gotham show. But he was
True.
also Batman in Batman Year One. We're talking about Ben McKenzie.
I said earlier that I do like the year one comic, as
Yeah.
compared to a lot of other Frank Miller's work. I don't really think this works as Batman or Bruce Wayne. He gets a lot of play as both characters in this movie, and I don't know. I don't have a lot of negative to say about it per se, but I don't have any positive either. Like this is just sort of a null performance for me. I don't know. It doesn't work.
Whenever I think of this movie, I only remember Bryan Cranston.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the
Um,
best part.
so yeah, I promise after this I'll have more things to say.
Okay, don't worry, don't worry. We
And
can
I
give
won't.
we can
Oh,
give Bryan Cranston an S in this movie.
oh, as Batman, you think? He
Uh,
didn't play Batman, you fool.
I know, but he played, Gordon, but I think he played great as Gordon.
Well, we're not. If you want to do a Gordon episode, that's different.
I know.
Well,
But
this guy did play Gordon. We already said that. Does that not count?
That's all right. That's all right. So for the fact that he didn't, he was in a Batman thing, but didn't play Batman, he's got to go down. And that goes for Jensen Ackles too. He's got to move down.
That's true.
All right. He was alright in this film, I guess. I'll just give him like a C.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'd say C or D, so C is fine.
All right. Ben, we give you a C. All right, let's recap with our voices here.
Oh boy.
Kevin Conroy was an S. Will Friedle was an A. Will Arnett was a B. Keanu Reeves was a D. Peter Weller is a C.
Good.
What's his first name?
Diedrich Bader.
Dieter Baker. I can't. Yeah. Sorry, I'm bringing my Arnold here, but he's an S. Troy Baker is an A. Bruce Greenwood is an A. A lot of A's here. Jensen Ackles. Sorry,
Ackles.
Ackles.
Wow.
is a B. Roger Greg Smith is a C. Not Ray, but Reno Romano is a B. Jason O'Mara is a D. And Ben McKenzie is a C. So what do you guys think about the voice grading here?
Incredible. We ranked them.
Definitively correct. If anyone has any different opinions, they are wrong, and they must tune to this.
Tune in. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Yes. Well, speaking of that, let's take our first probably the only commercial break here, and we'll get back to you guys with the live action guys.
Wait, whoa, we got ads?
And I'm just giving a little break. Okay, right now is the break. If you guys need some water, you can go ahead and get some water.
Okay.
Is this part staying in? God, I hope it is.
No, it's not. I'm taking it out. I mean, I can.
No,
Do I keep it
do
in?
whatever you feel is right.
Ooh.
All
Water.
right, drinking water. All right. 1 second.
This is the
Oh,
best
no.
episode we've ever done.
Oh god.
You know what? I'm keeping everything. No commercial
Okay.
break.
That's fine.
All right. We're back in live action, guys. How you guys feeling?
Great.
I'm very refreshed after that break.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Very. All right. So our first live action Batman is the original Batman in the 1943 serial Batman. It is Lewis Wilson.
Well,
I've got
since you
nothing to
opted to
say.
start with the cereals, I've got nothing to say.
No. Does anyone have
I
anything
mean-
to say about this stuff?
I mean, for both Lewis Wilson and then the other serial actor you have listed, Robert Lowery.
Yeah.
I skimmed through. I'm sorry, old head Batman fans, OG Batman fans, hardcore Batman fans. I, in the year 2023, did not make time to go back and watch the 1943 serial. I did not grow up watching the 1943 serial. Call me a fake fucking fan.
Whoa.
Oh,
I
damn.
skimmed through, and it's exactly what you'd expect. I've got nothing to say.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to.
You know what?
Yeah.
I refuse to rank them.
Wow. What the hell, man?
Wake me up when we get to Adam West.
All right.
That's
Well,
fair.
Anthony, anything you gotta say for Lewis? I'm bringing Robert too. So Robert Lowry in the Batman Robin serial in 1949, and Lewis Wilson in 1943 serial Batman. What are your thoughts on them?
I don't have any. No, I skimmed it, and yeah, he seemed pretty boring. And then I saw a bunch of clips that was like, this guy's racist Batman, and it's just because
Yeah.
it took place in 1943. So
Oh, I didn't know he was racist, Batman. Put him in
Yeah.
F.
yeah, so I mean, from what I understand, Lewis Wilson has that going for him. Robert Lowry, I don't think has anything in particular, and it's hard, right? I don't mean to demean these people's work. They're probably dead. They are dead for sure. I'm going
Probably.
to say that. But like, it's not only so early in filmmaking, but it's also very early in Batman's mythos. So like, you don't
Yeah.
have a lot to go off of. They had Batman and Robin, and they punch people sometimes.
Yeah.
The Lewis Wilson one I watched, there was a guy that like was fighting Batman, and then I think he jumped off a building, and I don't know the context of it. I think he was trying to frame Batman, but a man did jump off a building and kill himself. So that they had that, which is something. But I don't know. Like I suggested we don't talk about these Batman. I know they're part of history. I know they are, but like we don't have the context for it, and I doubt many people are diehards for this version of the Dark Knight. I'm just saying.
There'll
So
be someone. This is someone's favorite.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get
Batman
that, but I
hasn't
don't
been the
care.
same since they took out the anti-Eastern racism.
I will say about these two serials is like, man, it's an old piece of like history. Like you're speaking of 1943, 1949. Like that's crazy to think about for a character of Batman. Um, Other than that, I'll just give like an F for these two.
All right, bet.
All right.
We don't know it. We don't care. Put it in the worst. F.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, Lewis Wilson and Robert Lowry. F. The next Batman, you guys should know him. He's been in Family Guy. He's been in other things. He is the original, to us, I guess, the original Batman, 1966. The show and the movie, Adam West.
S tier.
Yeah,
It's Batman. Like
he's iconic.
he's an icon. He's really great. Like that voice, like, you mentioned him being in Family Guy and, other voice acting stuff like Fairly Odd Parents. He
Yeah.
was in both the Batman the Animated Series, The Batman from
Yeah.
2004,
Yeah.
and Batman the Brave and the Bold. So like this guy just has a magnificent voice, and he's just permanently part of that Batman sort of culture, I guess. He's just great. He's a wonderful actor, and God rest his soul.
Another Batman that I met at a convention. Um, yeah, you can't beat. I mean, even it is the goofiness of like the era of the '60s. Like it's still Batman. Like
Yeah.
and when you look at we just talk shit on the '40s serials. If you look at what their suits looked like, it's just like, oh, my wife made this last night. Put it on, film the fucking movie. West's Batman suit, iconic is the only word for it.
Yeah.
It's well made to a point where it still looks like a superhero costume. Like I love the sort of helmet-esque velvet feel of the cowl with the eyebrows on there, and like yeah, with the other one it was like just sort of pulp entertainment. This one there is a tongue-in-cheek sort of nature to it that it can be enjoyed in the 60s as well as today. So I think that helps. Like sure, if you're just sort of like I need dark and gritty Batman, like this guy is a miserable man that monologues on gargoyles, like that's fair. I like that Batman too. But this is still Batman as much as those versions. And I think that's really great that it's just as much fun. You watch the movie in particular, tons of laughs, tons of entertainment. It's wonderful.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, people want the dark Batman, but we sometimes need the light Batman. Adam West. Show your kids this Adam West first, and then the dark Batman.
Yeah, show your kids this Adam West, and then you can show your kids the Family Guy Adam West.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
And
a great
then
great character.
I mean, Adam West was also, like you mentioned, I believe, in the animated Batman show. He was, Grey
the
Ghost.
Gray Ghost.
Yeah. Great performance.
Great,
Amazing.
great episode too. I think that was one of the best episodes. I
Mhm.
think.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we're giving Mr. Adam West. He also passed away. An S as well.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Adam West, an S. All right. Now we're getting into the oh, of course, Batman. But we're getting into Mr. 89, Mr. Batman Returns. And also I have to sorry guys, I have to bring this up too. He
You
was
don't
also in
have
the
to
Flash.
bring this up. You don't
He is
have
also in the Flash.
don't-
No,
He was
you have to
also
bring it up. You have to
he was
bring it up.
also yeah, I know. Batman 89, Batman Returns 1992, and The Flash 2023. We're talking about Mr. Batman, Michael Keaton. Mr. Mom.
Mr. Batman. It's like, yeah, Mr. Mom. That's what I assume.
But yeah.
I like Michael Keaton quite a bit. Again, like I mentioned earlier, foreshadowed earlier, although Keaton was like one of the first Batman things I remember watching, he's the one I probably rewatched the least, and that's probably because the Schumacher films were more colorful.
Sure.
But stacked up now, I do really like Batman 89. I really like Returns for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
much more of a Returns guy myself than 89.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just it's a Christmas movie, first of all.
It is.
Yeah.
Speaking of, yes, it is a Christmas movie. We are in December. This
Officially
is a
December.
Christmas movie.
This podcast is a Christmas movie.
Podcast. We'll talk about some Christmas. So even in The Flash, terrible, 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 soulless movie, awful
It's
movie.
fine.
Hated it. Sorry, Anthony.
Ah,
But no, I think he's the best part in that.
sure.
He's got genuinely entertaining uh throwback, like he's the same Batman, even though he's like 80 now. He's the same Batman.
That's crazy. He looks so young, but he's old too.
Uh, I would put Keaton in A.
Wow. Okay. What about you, Anthony?
I'm not the biggest Michael Keaton Batman fan, honestly. I like Batman 89, and I like I said, I prefer Returns. I just don't really see that as Batman. I feel like in 89, it's not. I don't know. I don't see a lot of like variations on the. He's barely in those movies compared to the villains, which is a bit of a problem. And so we don't really get a good insight into the character that we would get in later films.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think he looks good in the suit. I think the Batman Returns suit is one of the best live action suits. I think it looks great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's got the presence, but I think if you light it right and you put a guy in a bat suit, I think a lot of people can look good in it. So
Yeah.
there's that. I think he gets a lot of the iconography down, but I just it doesn't really sink in. I think in Returns where he's allowed to be a bit more Michael Keaton-y, and at
Yeah.
that point my brain is so separated from what a Bruce Wayne Batman should be. Like he's a lot funnier, the way his like slip up interaction with Selena Kyle when he meets her with Max Shrek. His reaction to, it's cold. It's supposed to be cold. That stuff is all wonderful. So I like that about it. So I would probably say a B, but an A is not inaccurate just because of how big he is in the sort of lore of Batman, I guess.
I love that his Bruce Wayne is just a big weird goofball.
I mean,
He's basically a psychopath.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I'm not too crazy about it, because it's like, I don't know if that's I would
No.
like a weirder Bruce Wayne, but I don't know if this one works for me.
I wish he added more clumsiness, like in the animated show, into like the live action. I wish he brought that more in Batman Returns and Batman.
Like
But
a
I don't.
charming sort of like
Yeah,
emo energy instead of just being like a weirdo.
yeah. He's a weirdo in this one for sure.
Yeah.
But you did. I feel like he plays more of Bruce Wayne than Batman. But I
Like
mean,
Bruce Wayne in the suit rather than it being Batman. Like a
yeah,
different. I can understand that.
yeah. I mean, I'll give it an A
All right.
if that's okay with you, Anthony.
A works. A works. I won't be
All
mad.
right. I agree with Skyler. We are picking A for Michael, Mr. Mom Keaton. Also, throw back to our top 5 comedies. He was in The Other Guys, and he was the best part in The Other Guys.
He kept making TLC references.
Yes.
I remember that.
Funny.
The next Batman we have here. He only played Batman once. I wish he played Batman again, but it doesn't look like now. But for whatever it's worth, we have him in Batman Forever 1995. That's where I was born, and I think you guys were too.
Yep.
It is Mr. Val Kilmer.
Yeah, this is, in my opinion, the best of this era of Batman. I think Val Kilmer,
Really?
the problems that I had with the sort of Keaton, where I don't think we got to see into the character too much. I
Mhm.
think Forever, in its own way, tackles a lot of that stuff. I know people that are clamoring for the Schumacher cut. I would be interested in seeing it. It's not going to change my opinion on the fact that Batman Forever is both a fun and action-packed Batman movie. I think it's a good introductory for Batman if you're a kid who wants to get into it. It's cool. This Batman's a little brooding, but it's fun. It's colorful. It's light. This Batman has a cool Batman voice, I think,
Sure,
and
yeah.
he looks like Bruce Wayne. I think that, like, not that you have to look exactly like the comics, but this Val Kilmer looks like a believable billionaire, handsome playboy,
Mhm.
which I think works for the version of the character in the movie. So I think Val Kilmer is a fantastic Batman. I love his scene interacting with Dick Grayson, after he saves him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Who's gonna stop me?" He's like, "I can stop you." And he stands up and he's got all the like bandages on him and everything. Uh it's great. Like, yeah, Val Kilmer is Batman.
Yeah. Um Batman Forever holds a special place with me. I feel like there's this kind of tendency, maybe I don't know if people still do this, but there was a tendency to like throw this movie out alongside Batman and Robin because they were both Schumacher. We're like, oh, there's nipples on this suit too, or whatever, and they throw it out. It's like it's sure this movie's probably more of a toy commercial than the Burton ones were, but it's still there's a lot of good stuff in here.
So a lot, especially that one scene. I don't know if it's a deleted scene or not. Is that scene where the big bat was coming to his like bat cave?
That one was a deleted scene, yeah.
Yeah, I wish they kept that in the movie.
Uh, yeah. Val Kilmer is very good.
He's very good.
He's a very kind of dry Bruce Wayne. Like when he's portraying just Bruce Wayne to other people, very reserved.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of carries to his Batman, but he sounds great, like Anthony said. I
He's the
like
most
him.
emotionally damaged Batman that we had at that time, because
Yeah.
a lot of this
Yeah.
is supposed to tie into him having repressed memories in regards to his parents' death, which
Mm-hmm.
obviously ties into the Robin storyline. So he feels very, broken as a Bruce Wayne, which, people talk about, like you said, it's sort of lumped in as a Schumacher double feature with Batman and Robin, but this Bruce is very brooding. He's very depressed and stoic in a way that we hadn't had before.
Definitely. Yeah, Val Kilmer, man. Wish he played Batman again, but he has that throat cancer, I believe. So I don't think he'll be ever like be acting again. But yeah, I'll give him either an A plus or an S.
I would go with A.
Yeah, Ace
Let's
fine.
stick with A.
All right, Val Kilmer, Top Gun, Maverick,
Hell
and
yeah.
A.
I cried
Tombstone.
watching that scene.
Oh yes. All right, so oh my god. So I for the next Batman here, I tortured Skyler here. Back in the day,
Excuse me.
I forced not really forced him, but we both watched this movie together, and after
Well,
like two,
okay. You're misremembering, sir.
what?
Ooh.
We together
Yeah.
forced Steven to watch it. I
Oh
was
yes,
in on the bit.
yes. Sorry.
Oh,
Steven.
Like,
okay.
don't pretend like I didn't watch this movie a bunch as a kid. Of course I did.
I mean, this was 10 years ago. Yeah, we forced Steven to watch this, and then I got sick of it watching. I
Yeah,
think
you started
after,
fast forwarding, and I was like, "You
yeah.
stop that right now."
uh, but that was 10 years ago. We were talking about. He's from General Hospital. He's a great actor.
You know, General
Ocean's 11.
Hospital?
Yeah, that was his first gig.
You don't mean ER?
Oh, sorry, ER. I'm sorry. Thank you for the correction.
That's why I'm here, Abrar.
Thank you. I mean,
He's
isn't
done wrong.
ER? I mean, isn't ER and General Hospital the same thing?
No.
Technically, no, not at all. They're two different
ER is the
shows.
emergency room. He was a pediatric doctor. He was a
Actually, yeah,
doctor
if
for
you think
kids.
about it, by definition, the emergency room is the exact opposite, different thing to the general hospital.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, all right, all right, all right. I mean, he was also, Ocean's 11 and a lot of those. Which
And
one?
Ocean's 12. I
And
could.
13.
Oh, are you sure?
Is there 13? Okay, let's move
Yes.
on.
'Cause
We're talking about Batman and Robin, 1997, and that guy is George Clooney
how
Oh
come you
yeah,
didn't say
George
the
Clooney.
Flash?
in the flesh.
Oh my god, that was an amazing moment. Yeah, George Clooney. I mean, that's the thing. We're gonna talk about this, and George Clooney's Batman's been talked to like to death,
Yeah.
right? Like this is the worst Batman, and blah blah blah. And George Clooney, if you tell him you saw the movie, he'll reimburse your ticket and
I
all
don't believe
that.
Mhm.
that's fucking true, by the way.
He did
Pardon
say
my
that.
language.
No,
No,
I believe it's
I'm
true.
sure he said it. But if my dumbass walked up to George Clooney and said, George, I saw Batman and Robin, he'd fucking pepper spray me. He's not
No,
giving me $8.
I don't think you know George Clooney very well. This guy is like he's an earnest sort of philanthropist and sort of like general good person.
He
I mean,
wasn't Ernest. That was Jim Varney.
no, 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 no. He killed the bus driver.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I don't. It's like I feel bad because I watched ER this year. At least most of it. There's a point where like eventually most of the characters from the first few seasons are just gone, and so my girlfriend and I gave up. But
Oh.
Doug Ross is an amazing character, and because he was just shooting it at the same time, his Batman is kind of similar. So I mean, that's fun. And when he showed up in the Flash, I tricked and my girlfriend we tricked the whole theater into applauding when he showed up, as if it was like a really exciting moment. Because for me, it was. He was so handsome. He had
Yeah.
that salt and pepper hair with the beard.
Mhm.
Awesome. I'd love to see that in a bat suit, but it's not like a particularly good Batman performance. But I think that could be said about the movie. It's kind of a boring flick. It's like, it's lauded as it's like, oh, it's so bad, it's hilarious. I I think it gets kind of boring after a while.
It
I've
is.
I've often said that I think I love everything about Batman and Robin except the movie. I love the merchandising. I love
Yeah.
all the toys. I love the commercials. I love Taco Bell. Like all that is great, but the movie is kind of sluggish and dull.
Yeah, by the time you get to like the around the end, like I think it's always like, oh, we're finally to the Poison Ivy thing where they have to fight Poison Ivy and Batgirl shows up. At that point, you're like counting the minutes, like, okay, now we have to do this. Okay, now we have to get to that part. Okay, the movie's almost over. Oh, movie's over.
Yeah.
I
Um,
I mean, I only watched the movie just for like the one-liners for sure.
you love
It's very
Arnold.
quotable.
That's why you watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, my take on Clooney in this movie is not again the general census people always give is like, oh, the suit has nipples. He's a bad Batman. Oh, he's got a credit card. He's a back credit card. Bad Batman. Like it's like no. To me, I think he's not a good Batman because when he's Bruce Wayne, he's just George Clooney, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
when he's Batman, he's just George Clooney in a Batman suit.
Yeah.
There's nothing more than that. That's
Yeah.
it.
He's the best Bruce Wayne.
No, he was George Clooney. I just said that.
I know.
But George
I thought,
Clooney is like Bruce Wayne,
yeah, he
you know?
is.
He
Yeah.
does that little thing where he like smiles and tilts his head down and then he bobbles it.
How are we gonna
That's
say that the next guy isn't the best Bruce Wayne?
Oh, you're right. I forgot
yeah,
about
well,
the next
no,
guy.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
Um, in the Batman and Robin movie, they do show like I remember that flashback of like him visiting the cemetery for his parents. It's just like that two scenes only.
The part where
Um,
he's running down the hallway and he falls,
yeah.
Oh,
and
right.
Alfred comes in and laughs at him.
It's Charlie from the Santa Claus films.
Wow,
Uh, well, what are you guys giving George, Mr. Clooney?
G for George.
Oh,
that's lower than F.
Like
it
George
is.
Clooney thinks that he's the worst Batman. So to honor George Clooney, we have to put him in F because it's his wishes.
Ah,
No, George doesn't get a say.
no,
All
we
right,
gotta
S
say
tier.
that's
He's,
not us.
I don't know if you want to put him in F, that's fine. D would also be fine. I get. Do we have anyone in F?
We got the original two F.
Oh right. All right. Well, he's not racist. Put him in D.
I'll give him C.
No,
No,
No, not even
D.
C.
D.
D.
All right, I'm putting D.
Batman and Robin, you know? There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
All right. The next guy, he is the next Batman here we got. He is the one of the greatest actors in our generation.
True.
Me.
Um,
All right.
he got.
I
Hold
was
up.
just, but before we get into Christian Bale, since this is Christian Bale related, I will unveil now that I could not find the freaking commercial that I was in, but I could
Damn it!
find this, which the audience can't see, but you guys can see. This is the product
Whoa!
that it was. Do you remember these?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
commercial where it's just like you put the Joker on your tongue with the fruit roll up. I was
That's
in that
you?
commercial. No, I'm not Batman. Because you remember fruit roll ups for people who don't know or people who weren't born yet. I guess I don't know. Uh, the gimmick of the commercial was like fruit rolls were made in a factory, and then the kids worked in the factory.
It's like a test lab, right?
Kind of fucked up, child labor and stuff. But yeah.
It looks
So
cool.
there are a bunch of kids like walking around like this. Like it kind of the set looked like it was kind of meant to feel like kind of like a bat cave, I guess, but like the Dark Knight bat cave. So it was like big flat empty like warehouse with like
White room.
yeah, but it was lit darker, and there's a bunch of kids like pushing big crates with wearing hard hats, and I was one of those kids.
Cool.
And the
Well,
commercial, I cannot find it. It's gone.
it's okay. It's okay. We'll find it eventually. But thank you for bringing the Batman Battle Royals.
Battle rolls.
Battle Royals. Thank you. I was thinking Battle Royale, but Battle Royals. But yes, we are talking about The Batman Begins 2005, The Dark Knight 2008, The Dark Knight Rises 2012, Mr. Christian Bale.
He's
You
good.
know, it's a good thing. This is the one time where it's good that Daniel isn't here because I don't
Oh
want
yeah,
to hear any of his slander of Christian Bale
Yeah.
as Batman.
I could text him
Sorry.
again if you want me to.
No,
No, no,
no,
no, no,
no,
no,
no.
no. Listen, he's listening right now, and I apologize, Daniel. You were my friend, but at the same time, I
I
don't want to
don't.
hear it.
I don't apologize, Daniel. You know you're an asshole.
Oh, well, all right. That's true.
Um, no, man. Christian Bale as Batman, even Bruce Wayne, he carries the mantle of Batman. Uh, yeah, you guys go ahead. I have no words.
He's great. I mean, Batman Begins at this point in time is my favorite Batman movie purely because of how much it dwells into the sort of Bruce character. You know,
Yes.
at that point we had not really had a film about Bruce Wayne. And some would argue that the later films also don't tackle it as well as that first one. At least the Nolan trilogy, I mean. Like this seeing him struggle so much and like see what makes him choose to be Batman, obviously influenced from year one. It's great. Like I love it. I guess we'll get it out of the way. I know people have a problem with his sort of Batman voice.
Mhm.
I'm someone that believes that people don't even do it right because when people do it, they do sort of like a sort of a metal screamo sort of sound where it's very throaty and deep. And I feel like his Batman was a lot more whispery. You know, it evolves. You know, in Dark Knight Rises, it's at its most like gravelly, but
Yeah.
Begins, it's a bit more of a whisper, and I like that about it. So, you know, the voice aside for some people, this is still a great performance. He's got the anger, he's got the intensity, you know, like it is just it's great. And yeah, his scenes as Bruce Wayne with Michael Caine as Alfred and Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox, like it's hard to get more iconic than that. Like if you guys weren't around, because obviously we all were, it's hard to describe being around during the time of the Nolan trilogy. Like that was
Mhm.
the most hypest shit ever, was being a
Yeah.
Batman fan in the late 2000s and early 2010s. Like incredible stuff.
His Bruce Wayne is unmatched. I think in live action for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, for those people who do not grew up with Christian Bale as Batman, I mean, I'm sorry, you're wrong. This is my Batman. But I'm giving him an S. What about you guys?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Abrar, as you often like to say, Abrar, you are my closest friend. Come here. You
Thank you,
know?
thank you. I am your Rachel Dawes man.
I You know what? For this podcast, I'll let it slide just this once.
Very nice,
And-
very nice.
An argument could be made for A, but
Nope.
that argument won't be made by me.
Nope.
It's because of his voice. Maybe that's why it's an A.
Well, I mean, in the context of the film, his voice never bothered me.
Mm.
I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna overlook it and be like, oh no, I don't understand what people are talking about. I get it, but it never
Yeah.
bothered me. So, S.
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 All right. As for
Especially
Christian,
considering if we're looking at how not just how the character was portrayed, but how his story wrapped up.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, come
There's a
on.
beginning, a middle, and an end, which is pretty
Oof.
rare.
Especially for Batman. Because we could see like another Batman for Val Kilmer, but we never got that. Or George Clooney.
No, no
Like,
one has a conclusion. He's the only one.
He's the only
Snyder,
one.
Batman, the Affleck, we'll get to him. He doesn't have a conclusion.
No, unfortunately. But yeah, Christian Bale, the best Batman in my opinion, live action, is an S.
Yeah.
The next Batman, I don't know if you guys watched the show. He's pretty cool. He was in the show. He was with Harvey Dent. Aaron Accurate. The guy who played Harvey Dent in the Dark
Sure.
Knight.
Aaron
He was.
Eckhart?
Yes, he was in Incarnate with this one actor here, and that movie was trash. But in
Well, I'm
this
glad
one,
you brought it up.
Oh, yeah.
we're talking about the Gotham show, 2014 to 2019. He was Batman in the last 10 minutes of that show. we're talking about Mr. David Mansus.
Is that the same kid that was in the show the whole time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. All right. I didn't watch the show. I could not be bothered.
Yeah. I know the show has its fans. I don't even think I would have checked out the first episode, but I don't even think I got that far. Like I don't even think I gave it a shot. But I've seen enough clips, I've seen enough things to know that this show is not for me. So I don't know. I guess at a Batman's he has the worst suit.
I was gonna say
Technically.
Sure, yeah.
it's terrible.
I mean, it's his first time being Batman. He just put on the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when Christian Bale's first time being Batman, he just wore like a ski mask
Yeah,
and he had a stapler.
yeah.
That was way better than this Bat's.
He had a
Uh,
stapler. Yeah.
He did.
He did.
He used the stapler. He didn't. It wasn't on his like.
You
utility
don't know
belt.
that.
It was
It
Gordon's
was on his
iconic
belt.
stapler. It had his name engraved on it.
The cop said, "Who was that?" And then Gordon says, "Just some nut."
I say
Yeah,
that
the-
about you every time you leave my house.
Oh,
Whoa.
really? That's messed up. But yeah. I mean, okay. So I watched the show from the beginning to the end.
Whoa.
It is a wacky show. It reminds me of the 1960s Batman with Adam West. That type of wackiness.
But it's
but
like
as-
gruesome. Like 60s Batman ain't gruesome.
I mean, it's wacky and gruesome. It's just all over the place. So for this show and for him as being Batman for like 5 minutes, I'll just give it the benefit of the doubt of like a D. It's not an F.
You know, I didn't watch it. Anthony didn't watch it. You said you watched it all the way through. You know who else watched it all the way through?
Who?
I'll text him right now.
Oh, is it Mr. Daniel McGee?
Did the kid from Gotham suck or was he okay? That's what I texted him, and we'll see what he answers.
Is he the judge at the end for this
Huh?
one? Is he the?
Just when I've got nothing to say.
All right. No, I like the I like the show.
He
It was
said,
fun.
"You ready?"
Yeah. Oh wow, he texts fast.
Sucked.
One more
That's what
time.
he said. He said, "I'm not gonna do it again." He said, "Sucked," and
Oh,
with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 U's. So it's
Damn.
thrown out. It sucked.
uh,
That kid
sorry.
sucked.
I know, I got that.
Put him in it.
No. I want to put him in D. I
You
mean,
don't
he's not a
get to.
racist.
You don't. We don't know that. Someone check his Twitter.
No,
Someone check his
I know.
Instagram.
I know. I seen the movie Incarnate. He was not racist in that film. I'm giving it
Was
a
he
D.
good in that film?
Huh?
Was he good in that film?
No, he was good. I mean, the movie was trash, but he was good in that movie, like as the performance wise.
All right.
All right, if F is reserved solely for racist Batman, then I guess this kid has to go in D.
All right, D for Dave Manzus.
Wait, no, hang on.
What?
I'm gonna ask Daniel if he was racist.
All right, Anthony. Any thoughts on racism?
Whoa. Well, golly, that's a big question. I'm gonna bypass that and say I don't have any thoughts on this version of Bruce. So yeah, we'll leave it there.
All right. But yeah, is Daniel typing or?
No, I don't think he knows how to answer the question. Let's just move on.
All right, let's move on. The next Batman here. So he's, his best friend is Matt Damon. He's been in a lot of things.
Batman?
No, Matt Damon.
Batman's best friend is Matt Damon?
No, this
You have it.
actor's no, this
Oh.
actor. His best friend is Matt Damon.
Matt Damon got Batman into crypto. Don't you remember that?
Oh my So they're not friends anymore.
No, not after he bought that zoo.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Well, we're talking about. Oh, let me give his accolades here. He was in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, 2016, Suicide Squad, 2016. Wow,
Yep.
same year. Justice League, 2017.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Justice League, 2021.
Same
That's a
movie.
big gap.
Go ahead.
And The Flash, 2023.
Yeah.
This is Ben Affleck.
Uh-huh.
It's rough because
Yeah.
I don't really like any of the movies that he's in particularly.
Mhm.
For sure.
That's kind of the thing. I guess he did get better over time, so I can appreciate
Yes.
that. And I have proof. I have hard evidence that I was a Ben Affleck supporter since the beginning. You know, like I was really hyped for his take on Batman back when it was announced in 2013. So like I don't want any kind of pretending of like, oh, this guy's a hater or anything. I was excited for it, and I think he looks the part. I think in certain aspects he works as that character. Um, The Flash is not a great movie by any means, and he has one of the worst Batman suits in that film. But as Bruce Wayne, in the one Bruce Wayne scene he has, it feels like Bruce Wayne. And he's often talked about in interviews where he's like, I finally got it. I understood what I needed to do. Like that's kind of sad, I guess. But
Yeah.
so it's hard to rank this one because I hate Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
And I hate the Suicide Squad movie from 2016, and I hate the 2017 Justice League, and the Snyder Cut's fine, but like he's not horrible. He's just a Batman that kills, and I don't really like that.
Yeah. He kind of breaks that one rule.
He's a very inconsistent Batman. Because the movies are so inconsistent.
Yeah.
He's dark. He debuts as Dark Murder Man doing murder Grinch stuff in the house,
Right.
and he's running people over and blowing people up, and he's gonna murderize Superman because if there's even a 1% chance of a 1% chance, I gotta fucking kill him, Alfred.
Yeah.
I don't. And then
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, he assaults Deadshot in front of his daughter.
Yeah. You beat up Will Smith.
And Justice League is a very bad movie, and Zack Snyder's Justice League is a better but very long movie.
Oh, 4 hours, man. What the hell?
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Like
Um,
4 hour film? No, first of all, 4 hours? We do not need 4 hours. Just give us 2 hours and 30 minutes. Go
bro,
ahead.
it wasn't up to you.
When I talk to Zack Snyder tomorrow. No, I won't.
Oh, you
Go
guys hanging
ahead.
out? You gonna
He's
watch?
making that one movie.
You watch Rebel Moon?
I mean, I heard that's whatever.
You heard it's a movie that's coming,
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a Zack Snyder film. Can't wait.
doesn't it? Yeah, I agree with Anthony. These movies are mostly terrible.
But was he terrible? Was his
but-
Batman terrible?
But there's
Technically,
something
no.
there's something about him. Like he's got something. It's there. I don't think we ever really got to embrace it. We didn't quite find it.
No, and I
It's
argue
there.
that even if he did get a solo movie, I don't know if you'd even see it there. You know, like
Yeah, no,
I
it's
I understand people would have liked that film, and there's a time in my life where I would have liked that too. And when people talk about it, they talk about it as if it was like, "Oh, we were gonna make this great movie." Well, they're not gonna say that they were gonna make a bad movie. You know, like they're not gonna say
Yeah.
that. There's one quote where it's like, "Oh, it utilized all of Batman's history in a creative new way." That's every Batman movie, so that's not special.
you could
I
say that about any movie that doesn't exist.
I like a lot of his stuff. I'm not a huge fan of his suits. I'm not a huge fan of his actions. You know, I'm not a huge fan of his Batmobile. There's I like Ben Affleck as the character of Bruce Wayne, but
Yeah.
everything about his version of Bruce Wayne, I don't like. So that's where it becomes challenging. So I'm obviously not going to want to rank it very highly because it just doesn't. It's not what I want from Batman. But it's not Ben's fault. I'm not putting the blame on Ben. I'm not saying he's a bad actor or even a bad Batman, but the version that he got to play, the same thing with Superman, right? Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
His version of Superman is not my Superman. That doesn't mean I don't think he could be a good Superman. I think he
You
Yeah.
could be.
you think he was in the wrong place at the wrong time as Batman in
The
this
wrong place
universe?
at the wrong time.
Not yeah. Uh that's a line from that's a Bruce Willis line.
Oh,
I think. No.
You saying you're not a big fan of his actions reminds me of that video. He was the greatest guy around. What about the people he murdered? What murder?
uh, the so for me, he reminds me of the animated movie The Dark Knight Returns, like that older Batman, as you say.
Oh, sure. They're definitely going for that. It's
Yeah, for sure.
I know Zack Snyder recently said of like, I'd only come back for a Dark Knight Returns adaptation. It's like, well, you used all the iconography, bruh. I don't
Yeah,
know
what
what
are
you
you
would
gonna
do.
do?
He
Yeah,
just
what-
he just want to be he just want to direct Batman. That's what he wants, but we're not gonna give
Old
it to him.
murder Batman.
Yeah, come on. I mean, all right. So Ben Affleck.
See?
See,
Yeah, the potential is there, but we did not see it.
yeah,
You did not see it.
don't get
I
it.
see what he did there.
No, wait, I didn't see it. What happened? I don't get
Uh,
it.
you gotta
See
go
it.
to the ocean by the sea.
All right, this
Oh,
this bit's bad. We're gonna move on.
All right, let's
world's
move on.
greatest detectives.
Oh, now that
uh,
we're there.
now, uh, the next Batman. So he
Mhm.
is our latest Batman right now. He, man. So he's this guy. He was in Harry Potter.
Yeah,
He is well known in the Twilight series.
Hell yeah, brother.
hell yeah.
He's also in one of the movies I really loved him in. Was Good
Good Time?
Time.
I
Yes.
knew it.
Damn it.
Wait, was it Water for Elephants? Oh man.
No, not One for Elephants. He is. He is in the movie. There's gonna be a part two, hopefully by
No,
next
there
2 years.
is. It's
Yeah,
coming.
in 2 years or so. Don't know the official title name for that. But
The
he
Batman
is.
Part 2. That's the
Uh,
official name.
I hope not. Um,
They already
he
revealed it. They're gonna change it?
did they?
Yeah, they might.
I guess. Well,
They
all
might
right,
change it the
whatever.
day before it comes out. People do stuff.
True.
Uh, he is in the Batman movie, not the 2004 The Batman animated show. We're talking about The Batman live action, 2022 March. I think it was 4. We were talking about Robert Pattinson.
I mean, this
He's-
one's a lot of recency bias, right? And
I
it's
was
only been one
Yeah.
film.
I was gonna exactly say recency bias. We also don't. We only have like the first piece of the puzzle right now,
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah.
but it's a very good piece of the puzzle.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is a fantastic Batman. I mean, in terms of live action Batman, I think it's the best voice. You know, I think it's a perfect balance between the
Yeah.
sort of whispery gruffness and I guess that's something we didn't really talk about too much. With the Affleck one, they did the voice modulator thing, which
Mhm.
Yeah.
they also did on Arrow. And I guess they also did on Smallville for Green Arrow. So that's kind of weird that it was a Green Arrow thing that they then put in a Batman movie.
Well,
But
Batman had to steal something from Green Arrow eventually after all the shit Green Arrow stolen from him.
that's true. That's true. I'll give you that. But yes, I'm not a fan of the modulated voice. I think that's kind of lame. I think you need to do a Batman voice to be Batman.
Yeah.
And I mean, Pattinson has it all. He's got the jawline. He's got a beautiful suit. He's got the presence. He's strong and vulnerable at the same time. He's perfect. Like I said, it's kind of hard because it really is just us gushing over this Batman because the Batman is such a great Batman movie. But
Yeah.
I can't deny that I love it, so I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I love it too.
It it it's going in S.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fuck it.
he's an S man. Dude,
He's an ass
he
man.
revised. I mean,
He's an
yeah,
S man.
10 years ago we had Dark Knight Rises with Christian Bale, and then 10 years later we got Robert Pattinson. So I think there's a correlation there.
I mean, that's probably what it should have been, right? When The Dark Knight Rises ended, we should have had a 10-year gap before we had another Batman, to let audiences like have a break from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to
So,
breathe.
so like this really does feel like the return of Batman for, at least for someone like me. I can't speak for everyone. Everyone can have their own version of Batman, but this movie struck all the right chords with me as a Batman fan. And even as Bruce Wayne, obviously we see a lot more Batman, which is kind of rare. We see a lot more him in the suit than the Bruce Wayne character, but even as Bruce, he's this tortured sort of recluse, which is sort of interesting. I think this does a lot right where I felt like the Keaton one, where he was more of just a weirdo. This one, I don't know, the brooding was there. I think that's what it was, is that he was still kind of like an introvert and, not the typical playboy character that Bruce Wayne likes to play. But it still feels like Batman, like
I mean,
there's
yeah,
all the jokes of like, oh, it's an emo Batman. It's like, yeah, the dude dresses like a bat and, he beats people up and he's like all about the darkness and everything. Batman's kind of emo. Like, I don't know what to say.
yeah.
I have an update really quick. Daniel
Oh,
responded.
Oh no,
So this takes us back to the Gotham kid.
oh,
Dave Manzus.
Yeah, he said, because I remember I said, did he suck or was he okay? Daniel said, sucked. I said, was he racist? And it took Daniel 10 minutes to respond. To which he said, no, he's just a bad actor.
Oh,
Then he said, I mean, he might be racist in real life. I don't know. So we don't know. Allegedly.
allegedly, but I don't think
jury's
so.
out.
And
Okay.
then Daniel said, also let Abrar know it's pronounced David, not David.
Oh, well, a little too late for that.
How does he know
So-
them saying David?
Well,
He just knew you were going to say it wrong.
Damn.
You thought you were tossed softball.
Damn. All right.
that's
That's
not
fine.
fair to you, Abrar. That's not fair. I don't
Thank
put
you.
blame on you.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
fair.
Okay.
But back to Robert Pattinson. Kids who are growing up now, because we know we grew up with Christian Bale as the live action Batman, and as a great Batman. And now kids are growing up with Robert Pattinson in the next future. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the future's very exciting. Obviously, we're going to be having another Batman at some point set in the sort of James Gunn
Yeah.
universe. So it's like, it'll be kind of interesting to see what they do with that. I think Batman is a strong enough character where you can have multiple versions of the character and be fine. Like, this dude, as we established earlier, has existed for nearly a century. Like, I think it's
Crazy.
impossible to break him at this point. As
Yeah.
much as Bane wants to try, it's like
Ooh.
he's too powerful as a piece of fiction. He's mythos. So like, I think this Batman, seeing where this Batman will go, where it'll go in the future, what villains he'll face, what problems he'll come across, is all very, very exciting. And it's so easy to talk about trilogies these days. Fuck a trilogy. I want this to be like Daniel Craig's James Bond. I want him to keep doing this until something happens.
Yeah,
Until Robert Pattinson wants to kill himself, and then they'll finally go, all right, you can stop now.
Yeah, like 5 movies would be great. I don't care what anyone says. This Batman needs to have adventures. That's what I want.
Hey,
Let's do it.
if they did 5 instead of 3, you could go long enough that you could actually expand, and see the Bat family come
Yeah,
together a
yes.
little bit.
see him evolve and become, whatever version of Batman you want.
I can see that happening in the next 10 years or so. The Batman family movie.
Spread it out, Like I know the next Batman movie that they're doing with, it'll have Damian in it, so they'll have those established characters, but to see the evolution start from this very early Batman. And who knows, we could go from having a very grounded, gritty world where the Riddler is like the Zodiac killer to maybe reaching a point where we can do more fantastical things. I'm not saying like comic book Clayface, but like something a bit more.
Hmm.
I think you can do something like a body horror version of Man Bat or something. Like I think
Yeah.
those characters are possible. So it'd be cool to see where this Batman goes if that ends up being a place where they can go.
Yeah, like a horror film for Man Bat, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
But
something different.
speaking of like films, I mean, they shelved this film. We were never gonna see it. It's the Batgirl film. Michael Keaton's in it. I mean, we're not gonna see it, even though it's bad or not. Just release it. We gotta see it.
I wish they would have released it. I think it sounded like a cool sort of hip youth sort of coming of age girl story. It's a shame now because even if they do release it at this point, it'll never be finished, right?
Hmm.
Like it'll come out with special effects not done and things that they would have reshot once they had time to do it. So like people are gonna watch it and be like, "Oh, no wonder they canceled it." And it's like, well, it wasn't a finished film. To be
Yeah.
fair, give it a break. But I totally would have loved to have seen Batgirl. I think it sounded fresh and interesting.
Yeah. Something new. But oh well.
Brendan Fraser, come on,
Yes. Freaking from the whale and freaking come on. The mummy.
come on, come on.
Come on. What are they doing there? Skyler, can you go to WB Studios and beat them up?
Oh yeah, I could do that,
Come
no
on.
problem. Actually, I don't know what kind of results we'll get from that, but I can definitely do it.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much it for the live action. Let's recap our Batman's live action. We got Lewis Wilson, Batman
Racist.
19. Whoa, wait, 1 second. 1943 serial. We gave him an F because
Racist.
Yeah. Robert Lowry, the Batman Robin serial in 1949. We gave him an F because
He's probably also racist.
yeah, that's probably so.
We'd have to watch the whole thing to be sure, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll
But
do it
it's
myself.
safe to assume.
Oh yeah, yeah. The next guy is Batman 66, Adam West. We gave him an S.
Not
For-
racist.
for not
Verified
racist.
not racist.
Exactly.
Sexy.
The next Batman, we gave him an A. He was in Batman 1989, Returns 92, The Flash 2023. Michael Keaton, we gave him an A.
Yeah.
We're not racist.
Yeah, not racist.
Mr. Mom.
Yeah, Mr. Mom was not racist.
Herbie fully loaded.
Yes.
Was Beetlejuice racist?
Beetlejuice is evil, so probably.
Yeah, he might be.
He's a
I mean-
molester, right?
Ooh.
Is he?
He was
Yeah.
a sex pest.
He's pretty sex pesty in that movie. Yeah, but that was the point. He's not a good guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's not. You're not supposed to cheer for Beetlejuice, even if he does go to Hawaii.
I mean, I do like his stripes.
Okay, true. Yeah.
The next Batman, we gave him an A, and that was he was in Batman Forever, 1995. Val Kilmer. Give him an A there.
Definitely not racist.
Definitely not. And I hope he gets better.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah. The next one, we gave him a D because he was in Batman Robin, and he was George Clooney. Give him a D there.
Yeah.
This guy, man, he's he's a woohoo. We give him
You
an
alright?
S. I'm okay. We gave him an S, and his name was Christian Bale. He's a freaking Batman Begins, 2005. Dark Knight, my favorite, my Letterboxd #1 favorite film of all time. The Dark Knight, 2008.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
The Dark Knight Rises, 2012. Also, people say that it's not a great Batman film, but it's still a great Batman film to me. 2012. We have
I
an
agree.
S. Yeah, Christian Bale. David, sorry, what's
Oh, he did it. He did it.
shit? What's his name again?
You were like, how does Daniel know? And you did it. It's
David?
pronounced David, apparently.
David Mazouz. in the
Gorilla
Gotham
Monsoon.
Gorilla Monsoon, the commentator and the wrestler. Gotham 2014, 2019. We gave him a D. Not an F because he's not racist.
No, not racist. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Supposedly.
You
We
know
gave-
what? We'll say pending.
Pending.
Ooh.
Not racist, pending.
Hold on, let me fix
I'm
this.
gonna do some research.
Hold on. I'm gonna put pending. Pending D.
Where are you writing that down?
I'm writing it down. I'm on my Word document.
He's a man of his word.
Oh, I'm a man of my document.
Oh, I like that. I'm not a dog chasing cars. You know, I don't do if I caught one.
Oh,
You
how
know,
come we didn't rank the guy that was the dead body in that Gotham Knights show?
Oh,
We
Gotham
didn't
Knight?
rank Titans either.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
The Game of Thrones
Ti-
guy.
he was
oh, what's his
did
name?
he suit up in that show?
There was a suited Batman and he's in it too, so I don't know if he suits up technically, but like he shows up as Bruce Wayne in it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He was old,
Interesting.
If you had to give him a grade right now, what would you give him?
like a D.
All right, we give that guy a D from the Game
That
of
guy.
Thrones.
D because he was on an episode of Doctor Who.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
how it
I mean,
works.
actually, I'll give him an F. I mean, he got friend zoned by
whoa!
Khaleesi at the end.
Whoa, hey. The end of that show was not his fault. You
Okay, you're right.
Wait a minute, hold on. What's this guy's name?
I
What
forgot his
was this?
name.
I'm gonna look it up.
Ian Glenn.
There you
Ian, is he in a Resident Evil movie?
Okay, please move on.
go.
Please move on. Don't talk
Hold
about
on.
this.
Yeah, Resident Evil,
No,
the final
don't.
chapter. Who does
Yeah,
he play?
he was also in Extinction, and he was in Final Chapter because they didn't. Just we don't need to go there.
Alexander Isaacs. Who's that?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But yeah, right now we're still giving David Mazouz a D. Next guy, Matt Damon's best friend. He was in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, 2016. I'm not gonna give him all these accolades. We give him a C. His name is Ben Affleck. My God.
Whoa,
Yeah,
the kid from Gotham, David.
David.
He was Robert California's son on The Office.
Oh,
I don't remember that, to be
The
honest.
episode, the Halloween episode, where he plays StarCraft with Dwight.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay. I do remember that now. Wow,
That's
what a
that's
career.
that's a little Batman, I guess.
He's from the worst era of The Office.
I mean,
All right, where do we rank Robert California on this list of Batman?
we can give him a C.
Okay.
For California.
Yeah, there you go. For California. I like it. But I just want to say again, reiterate this, like, Zack Snyder's Justice League 4 hours. You're gone crazy. Just stop. Okay. The our last Batman. Come on, guys. Mr. The Batman 2022, sorry. Yeah, 2022.
Yep.
Robert Pattinson, we gave him a S.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to put that down. S. All right, that's all the Batmans we have here.
Wow.
Now, all the ones we ranked. What do you guys or thoughts about grading these guys?
I don't
love
think I did
Batman.
a very good job, but I enjoy Batman.
I think I did a good job. I love Batman.
I love Batman too. He's one of a kind. He's not Superman. He's not any other superheroes. He's just a man with a plan, and
He's
that's
not
being
one of a
Batman.
kind. There was like 20 guys we just
Yeah,
ranked.
we just listed a lot of Batman.
I mean, I'm talking about like the character itself.
Well, there's Green
No,
Arrow,
there's
there's
a lot of them.
Blue Beetle, there's The Question, Night Owl. Do you want me to go on or?
No. I got it. But yeah, that's that's all the Batmans. Again, that's pretty cool. Hopefully, the next saga of Batmans will be pretty cool as well. But till then, guys, Skyler, where can they find you, man?
Man, if anybody can find me in the fruit roll up commercial
Oh yes,
and send that in, I will pay a monetary reward for that.
Hell
please.
yeah.
Q&A in our Spotify. Just say, hey, I got the commercial in my pocket.
The Batman battle roll commercial fruit roll up from like 2008. If someone could find that, it's lost media, quite honestly.
Yeah,
Skyler's in Lost Media. You're
I'm in
right.
Lost Media.
you're like,
Whoa,
oh
guys,
man,
this is a big deal.
oh my goodness. I mean, in the ad it says there's a battle of good versus evil on every roll. Which side are you on?
We had to watch the commercial to find out which
Yeah,
side
yeah.
Skyler was
I don't
on.
know. I don't know what side I was on.
Well, Anthony, where can they find you?
You can find me at Anthony Lantern on Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. I'm also Anthony Reviews. We're Anthony Reviews on YouTube. I recently put out a Batman themed video talking about a Batman toy line from 2011,
Very nice. I
which
saw
obviously
that.
we talked about on this. So there's that. Also, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my girlfriend Ray, who is she participated in sort of like a writing challenge on this website, and so she wrote a very extensive Batman fanfic, a sort
Oh,
of idealized sequel to the Batman, called "The Batman: The Art of Medicine." So if you'd like to check it out on Twitter at the Ray Sketches. If you can find her there, her current icon is Winnie the Pooh sleeping. So check her out. It's a whole novel-sized Batman story featuring a lot of different, you know, medicine-themed characters, some doctors, if you will. If
mhm.
you look at the cover, you can probably figure out who's in it. So there's that. So I'm plugging that for her.
Cool, cool. I'll put that in the bio, and of course, I love the movie Christopher Robin.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that was a good movie. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I like it.
It's very sentimental, and that's very heartwarming type of
yeah.
movie.
I'm glad it was not written by Max Landis.
Oh,
Yeah, where he writes Hook, but it's Winnie the Pooh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
I'm glad that happened. But yeah, of course, guys can follow this podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, and of course, follow me, follow us. What are you guys doing? If you're listening right now, follow us. Come on, do it
Oh,
right
bro,
now.
I don't think I follow you.
What?
Oh
Oh,
goodness.
Skyler.
I'm Batman.
Oh, don't dead name me.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
He did it
I'll,
again.
I'll censor it.
That's not dead naming. What the hell's your name now? That's not what that is.
I changed it, but I'm not telling people. I had to change it the last time he said my name on
Sorry,
the
sorry,
podcast.
Oh
sorry.
jeez.
I'll
I didn't.
censor what I said. I'm so sorry.
I didn't even plug my own podcast. Oops.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay. I'm just
All right.
kidding. It's called The Grund. Check it out
Oh,
on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Called The Grund. It features me. All right, now you can
yes,
go ahead, wrap it up.
yes. So follow us. What are you guys doing? Until then, guys. Same Batman time. Same Batman. You guys say it.
No, that's close enough.
Okay.
Nice.
Bing bang.